Hello all. So today we are at exercise number 8. We are basically going to explore the adapter pattern. So we are going to create a pod that comprises of two containers. The very first container will be doing the functional requirement, and the second container will be doing a little bit of log normalization, or I would say parsing of the log output in a certain format so that it can be ingested into the third party tool, right? So if I go back to my YAML file, this is the YAML file. So what I'm going to do is in the very first container, you can see that I'm basically making the use of image, which is nothing but busy box. And I am basically redirecting certain output to this particular file, disk space.txt, which also includes a date and time as well. So in the second container, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to eliminate the timestamps from that particular file, and therefore, so this is the only thing which we are doing just for the demonstration purpose. So just give me a second. So if I go back to my terminal, ls-l, so you can see that this is the file I'm going to use, adapter.yaml, which I have shown you on my VS Code. So let's do that. So I would say k create -f for file, and I will be making the use of adapter.yaml file. So it has created a pod, and if I try to so if I go back to my YAML file, you can see that the first container which is doing the functional requirement, the name of that particular container is adapter, and the second container which I'm basically making the so this is the name of the pod itself. And if I go back, if you can see, this is the adapter container, or the container which will be doing little bit of parsing with respect to the log format output. So the name of this particular container is nothing but transformer, and the main container which is basically doing the functional requirement, the name of that container is app, which is a default container for us. So this is the only thing which we should be remembering. So I will be assuming the shell in the transformer container, which is doing little bit of formatting of logs output. I would say adapter because that is the name of the pod. Then I would say -c. Now I will be explicitly specifying the name of the container. In our case, it is transformer. So I will be doing in an interactive mode. Then my command is nothing but bin sh. So here I am, if I say uname -a, you can see that this is the pod adapter. So these are the details. This is basically giving us a detail that we have already logged into the shell of that particular pod. So if I try to do ls-l, you can see that these are the basic directories which are there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just clearing my screen, and if I go to cat where logs, and I would say disk, so this is the file in which we are basically redirecting the output. If I would say so, you can see that this is basically printing the date and timestamps in this particular file in every 5 seconds duration, and it continues to happen. So this is the content of the file, and as I would suggest that in our example, I am trying to eliminate this particular timestamps for this particular file. So this is the transformation which we are doing in terms of the logs related file. So now what I'm going to do is ls-l, if I try to do that. So you can see that there are certain files also. So for example, if you see here, you can see that it is basically generating every other file in certain duration. So if I try to make just give me a second, ls, so you can see that these are the files which are getting generated in certain duration of time. And if I try to see the output of that particular file, so let's say this one, and I would say this one 0 1. So if I try to see the output of that particular file, as I suggested that the timestamps will be getting deleted from this particular file, because this is the transformation or formatting which we are doing in this particular case. So this is how we basically make a use of adapter pattern, and hopefully I will see you in the subsequent CKAD exercises.